Hey guys, welcome back. This is Jake with Jacoby and Company Woodworks, and today I'm going to show you my shop again. The first time I did my shop tour video was the first video I ever did on YouTube. I don't know a lot about YouTube still, but I know a little bit more now than I did then. And my iPhone that I recorded my shop tour video on, when I posted it, it gave you this tiny little picture. Which I know is frustrating. So I'm gonna get rid of that and put this video in its place. So let's walk through my shop again. If you already seen this video, feel free to move on, it's okay. Or enjoy it in a full screen this time. So, all right, here we go. Okay guys, welcome back. Guys, this is a 30 by 40 metal building. I stumbled across the link. This was back in 2020, pre-COVID, and they were offering this building as a package, which included basically the shell, 4 windows, a man door, and 2 garage doors. 10 by 10 roll-up garage doors, as you can see over here. I got one back behind this shelving that I don't use anymore. As a package, and that also included them coming and setting it up. Now, I'm a contractor by trade, so I ended up pricing out a pool building and doing it myself, and it was cheaper, believe it or not, to have them come and erect this metal garage instead of me buying the material, using my free labor and putting up a pool building, which is crazy. Now, obviously, after COVID, these garages, I mean, this building itself is about $6,000 more than what I paid. So I got in at a very good time. Obviously, nobody knew COVID was gonna happen, but very fortunate that I got it when I got it. I did do the concrete myself. I actually had a buddy pour it for me, but I did all the earthwork. Went ahead and framed up the outer sides for it. I did a what they call an Alaskan pour, or a monolithic pour, where it's about 1 foot thick on the edge, and then in the center it's about 4 or 5 inches. But it's held up real well, really happy with it. So again, guys, this is a 30 by 40. I wanted to go bigger, but at the time I just couldn't afford to. And obviously, as you can see, I've pretty much filled it up. So I'm looking at possibly expanding down the road here, but let's go ahead and walk through the shop. As you can see, as you come in on the right hand side, I got my clamp wall. I just took some 2x4s, ripped some little slots in it, as you can see right here, and the clamps just slide right into that. So nice little fixture, gets them up out of your way, off your bench. Got some cabinets for the chop saw station, obviously countertop, and inside the cabinets, guys, that's where I keep all my glues, my epoxies, a little bit of everything. I got some scale there to weigh the epoxy out, garbage bags, extra blades. You can see epoxies, glues, all my finishes. I got all my rubber gloves there in case I need gloves for the finishes, stuff like that. My chop saw station. This is a Bosch sliding chop saw. I really like this. I know Blacktail Studio, that's actually where I seen it a couple years ago. He had one. I messaged him and he messaged me back and said that he really enjoyed this saw. So I went ahead and looked at it, and it was a good price at the time. I went ahead and purchased it. What I like about it, as you can see, that has an articulating arm on it versus the DeWalt's, which I really like the DeWalt saws. I have 2 for work. But the downfall to the DeWalt saw, they got the sliding arms that go out the back. So that saw would be forward another 8 or 10 inches. So trying to conserve space, as you can see, I'm about as narrow as I'd like to get to work comfortably. So that chop saw works really nice though. If you guys are looking for a chop saw, highly recommend. Very accurate, has a laser on it if you like the laser. I rarely use it, but it's definitely a good saw. So moving along here, I got my stereo. I got it turned off right now, obviously. Little benchtop sander. There's a project I'm trying to get out the door. Powermatic drill press. I got this in a package. The majority of these tools you're going to see I got in a package. A gentleman had bought pretty much an entire shop worth of tools, and he just ended up really not using them. I don't know, his plans changed, he was moving, and he put them on Facebook Marketplace for sale. I actually saw the joiner first and messaged him and asked him if he had anything else, and he's like, yeah, I got a whole shop. So I ended up striking a deal with him. I got all the tools as a package, and this drill press came in it. You can see got some cobwebs on here, some dust. I don't use the drill press much, but when I do, it's definitely a great tool. Again, very accurate, which is a must for a wood shop. Got my Cyclone dust collector. This thing is a beast. I love this thing. It is noisy. There's no doubt about it. I see why people frame walls and enclose these, but I haven't got that far. I haven't really needed to. I'm not a high production shop. I don't run this thing non-stop. I turn it on for 4 or 5 minutes at a time, turn it back off, do what I got to do. It does have the quick clamping system with the pipes. Again, very expensive system. Most of this all came in the package, so I didn't have to spend extra. But it's nice that you can take it back apart. You want to reconfigure your shop, move some tools around, anything like that, you can do that. And you're not cutting pipe and wasting. You literally just unclamp it, put it into a new piece, put the clamp back on. Picked up this little mortise machine. This is a Jet guy. I got the cabinet with it too. He just built a little roller cabinet. It's a nice little mortise machine. The only thing I don't care for, I did use this to build a door. It only has a 4-inch throat. I guess that's okay. Very rarely are you going deeper than 4 inches on a mortise, but I would like that to go, you know, 5-6 inches would be nice. But I mean, for what it is, I think I paid like $100 for it, so got it for a steal. Here's a Powermatic bandsaw. This thing is really nice. I use it a lot for resawing. You see I got a pretty fat resaw blade on there. Has a built-in light. It's nice. It also has dust. Whenever you turn that on, it blows a little bit of air to kick the dust off of the project. That way if you're trying to cut on a line, you can see your line, not fighting all the dust. Got it also hooked up. All these tools pretty much have dust ports and roller bases, so it's nice you can move them in and out. A Hobart welder, that's actually a company welder, just kind of storing it here. I was fixing my truck this weekend, so it came in handy. Little bench grinder. Here's a welding table. I actually welded this up, fabricated this myself. It's nothing special. It's definitely not a heavy table like professional welders have, but it is nice for mocking up table legs whenever I'm doing an epoxy table, something to that nature. I can go ahead and lay my project out. There we go. Lay my project out. Yeah, mark right on the table. You can see some of the old lines there from some table legs I did. It works really nice for welding. I got a little benchtop sander, rigid, and a little cobalt router table. I don't do a lot with these. Bread knives, I'll use my sander, and then every now and then I'll ease the edges off of projects with my router, but nothing crazy. I got some wood storage on the walls. Of course, the American flag, USA proud, baby. Come over. This is my end bay. I try to leave this open as much as possible. Like I said, I was working on my truck the other day. I had a crack in the frame. I had to pull it in, weld, cut the frame out, weld on some patches. I try to leave this open. This typically gets sawhorses set up and a couple sheets of plywood, and it's like a finish area. Again, I would like to add on out the side here and put a finishing bay and a completion bay for my projects to keep them out of the dust. And because this is about as clean as you're going to see this shop right now. This is just a typical shop, typical wood shop. Again, not high production, but I almost always have something going on in here. This is a 37-inch sander. It's an Acura sander. I bought this in Pittsburgh off a gentleman. I got it used. These sanders are very expensive. They're like $6,000, $7,000 new. I think I paid $1,200 for it. Maybe not even that. I can't remember. But it's a double-headed sander. You can run 2 different grits of sandpaper. I typically just run the back head, just because, I mean, again, I'm not doing a lot of sanding. You can't take a lot off with this sander. You're talking like a 32nd of an inch per pass. If it's a softer wood, you might be able to do a 16th, but typically a 32nd is about all you're doing. Here's my Powermatic joiner. This is an 8-inch joiner. When I bought this, it had a straight cutter on it, and I upgraded it to the helical head. I found these helical heads on eBay. Fairly inexpensive to upgrade it. Didn't take a lot of time to swap it out. Highly, highly recommend, guys, the helical heads if you can afford them, if you can find tools with them. Save a little bit of extra money and upgrade to the helical head. It is well worth it in the end. It saves you a lot of time. Grizzly 20-inch planer. Again, this was bought used. Pretty much all my tools were bought used, other than a couple, and that's fine, guys. You gotta start somewhere. But this came with a straight cutter also, a 20-inch straight cutter. I upgraded this with a helical head. Again, I think I found that on eBay. It was like $800 or $900, which I know is a lot of money. But the time this machine with the helical head saves me in sanding alone is just, it's well worth it. It really is. And you'll see that in the projects if you haven't already watched a few of my videos. You'll see when that board comes out of there, it's just, it's ready to go. It's almost ready for finish. This is the Powermatic table saw. It's a cabinet saw. It has like a 6.5 foot table on it. I could pretty much rip a sheet of plywood if I need to, sideways. It's a 10-inch table saw. It works really great. Really smooth, very, very accurate. I built a little bench here in the back. It's a 4x8. It looks like I need a new piece of melamine on it, guys. It's that's 3 years old, that piece of melamine. It's about ready to be replaced, but it's just screwed on. So I can just pull the screws out, throw a new sheet on, no big deal. It does have a roller base, so I can wheel it around the shop, moving in and out if I need to. And I just basically have wood storage under there. I need to get that cleaned out. Obviously, it's a mess. Got some pallet racking I put in. I got a lot of storage stuff for my parents. They live on the property here with us. We just kind of have a bunch of our stuff and their stuff just stored out here. Refrigerator with some water. Another cabinet. I keep my lathe tools for my wood lathe in here. It's just a nice place to keep them out of the dust. Nice jet lathe. Really like this, guys. Turning wood is a big passion of mine. It just allows me to unwind if you have a stressful day at work or have your mind on 20 different things. You can come over here, chuck a piece of wood up, turn your brain off. All you have to do is make sure you don't get your finger between the tool rest and the piece you're turning. But you'll see me, if you haven't already seen my bull video, turn to bull, I'm going to be doing a lot more turning for you guys. Some different projects, some epoxy and whatnot. So again, guys, this is my shop. I know a lot of people like to ask, how much did this shop cost? I see a lot of videos on YouTube. People like to know what stuff costs. So this shop itself, the shell, was right around $14,000. That was the building itself, the doors and windows, and then putting it up. Obviously, I had to do the concrete, like I said, the earthwork, the concrete forms, and the concrete and the labor. I had around $6,000 or $7,000 in all of that. So that combined with the 14 brings me to 21,000. And then I have 2-inch insulation board that my business partner and his son helped me put in. I have that in the whole shop. Luckily, I bought that 3 years ago when we put the building up. I think I had about 2,000 bucks, not even, maybe $1,800 in insulation board at the time. This now would cost me over $5,000 for insulation board. So again, I got everything at a very, very good time. So that takes me up to about 23-ish, let's call it. And then the electrical end of things, a friend of mine's an electrician. I paid him to put a panel in, and then I wired the entire shop myself. My business partner helped me with the lights, getting them set up with the scaffold and everything. I would say electrical wise, probably another $2,500. So we're mid 20,000s, call it 25, 26,000. at the time, and I would say now to put this up, you're probably around 32 to 35 if I were to guess. I haven't priced it out, but that sounds very, very close to what I would expect to pay for this shop now. And then obviously all the equipment and everything came after that. So guys, this is my shop. I hope you enjoyed the video again for the second time. I look forward to making some content for you, hopefully some good content that you guys enjoy, some neat projects, something different that you don't see on YouTube every other day. If you have any recommendations for projects, something you want to see, feel free to drop it in the comments below. Throw me a like and subscribe if it's not too much to ask. I'm trying to grow this channel for you guys and obviously for myself and my family. And I just look forward to working with you all. So be kind to one another, and I'll see you guys soon.